Hello, listeners. Slip into a peaceful sleep tonight beneath the vast waves of the ancient Pacific Ocean, where Polynesian explorers forged their paths through a sea of stars. This 2-hour journey combines the gentle lapping of the ocean waves with quiet reflections on the daring voyages, sacred legends, and twisted destinies of those who sailed the unknown waters. Explore the vast horizons of Polynesian seafaring. Listen to the timeless echoes of Kupe's history and feel the quiet weight of Easter Island's stone giants beneath a twilight sky, perfect for a night's rest, adult sleep meditation, or simply to quietly drift into a peaceful state. As the black screen is unobtrusive, allow the soothing voice and the whisper of the waves to guide you into a deep, restful sleep, navigating the endless Pacific in the ancient world of Polynesia. From the 1st to the 13th centuries, voyagers sailed across the vast Pacific, threading their way through a sea that stretched like an endless dream. From the Marquesas to Rapa Nui, from Tahiti to Aotearoa, these seafarers ventured thousands of miles in double-hulled canoes. Their only guides the stars, winds, and waves. To survive as a Polynesian voyager was to master an ocean that could cradle or consume. A challenge so immense it might leave us adrift in awe and uncertainty. As you rest in the night's calm, picture yourself on a waka, the sails of woven pandanus catching the breeze, the horizon a distant whisper, the air salty and alive with possibility. The art of Polynesian navigation was a dance with the sea, but its demands were unrelenting, its lessons carved in wind and water. Let's drift into their world, where every journey tested the heart and mind. The Pacific was no gentle host, spanning 1/3 of the globe. It offered no landmarks for thousands of miles, only waves that rose and fell like a restless breath. Voyagers sailed from islands like Raiatea or Rarotonga, their canoes often twin-hulled wakas like the Mataawaru, carrying up to 25 souls. As Maori oral traditions note, you're there, the wooden hull creaking beneath you, the paddle heavy in your hands, the air warm with salt. These vessels, lashed with coconut fiber and sealed with sap, were marvels of craft. But leaks were a constant whisper of danger, as archaeological finds of ancient canoes suggest a single crack could invite the sea's embrace, leaving you to bail water under a relentless sun, your strength waning with each scoop. Navigation relied on the sky's ancient map. Polynesians read the stars like a sacred script, their patterns guiding the way to unseen islands. The star path, or Kavinga, marked routes from Hawaii to distant shores. As Polynesian oral histories recount, you're there, gazing at the Southern Cross, its tilt pointing south, the air cool as night falls. A wayfinder, trained since childhood, memorized hundreds of stars, their arcs as familiar as a lullaby. Yet a clouded sky could veil these guides, leaving you to trust memory alone. The sea's vastness pressing against your resolve. Modern studies, like those from the Polynesian Voyaging Society, confirm wayfinders used wave patterns too. Feeling swells to sense distant lands, but for us, untrained, the ocean's rhythms might feel like a riddle without an answer. Each wave a question of survival. Storms were the sea's unpredictable temper. A sudden squall could churn the ocean into towering waves. As accounts of voyages to Rapa Nui describe, you're there, the canoe rocking violently, the wind howling, the air thick with spray. Sails had to be furled swiftly, or they'd tear, leaving you at the mercy of currents. As 1999 reconstructions of Polynesian voyages from Mangareva to Easter Island suggest, provisions, taro, breadfruit, dried fish were tightly packed, but a storm could soak them, leaving hunger to gnaw at your strength. As oral traditions from Tahiti hint, the Polynesian rat, a stowaway on many canoes, could ruin stores, its nibbling a quiet threat. As paleobotanical studies of Rapa Nui show, for us, the constant vigilance might fray the spirit. The sea's wrath a test we'd struggle to endure. Isolation was a silent burden. Voyages, like the 17-day journey from Mangareva to Rapa Nui, stretched across weeks of open water. As modern reconstructions confirm, you're there, the horizon unchanging, the crew's voices soft, the air heavy with salt and silence. Wayfinders carried no compass, only their minds, trained to read birds' flights or seaweed drifts. As Polynesian navigation texts describe, a misjudgment could lead to empty seas, provisions dwindling, the crew's hope fading like a distant star. Maori traditions speak of canoes lost to Hain Mona, the ocean's spirit, their fates whispered in songs. For us, the weight of such solitude might overwhelm. The endless blue a mirror of doubt, each day a question of land's return. Community was both strength and strain. Awaka's crew, often kin, worked as one, their paddles synchronized, their chants a rhythm against the sea's pull. As Hawaiian voyaging accounts note, you're there, your arms aching, the crew's song steady, the air warm with shared effort. Yet disputes could flare a paddle missed, a ration hoarded testing bonds. As oral histories from Rarotonga suggest, wayfinders, revered yet burdened, bore the crew's trust, their errors unforgiven. As stories of lost voyages hint, for us, untrained in such unity, the crew's reliance might feel like a weight too heavy, the sea's vastness amplifying every rift. The land's promise was a fragile hope. Voyagers sought islands like Aotearoa or Rapa Nui, their shores signaled by clouds or seabirds. As Maori legends of Kupe describe, you're there, a faint white cloud rising, your heart lifting, the air fresh with land scent, yet false signs of fleeting bird. A deceptive swell could lead to despair. As Polynesian tales warn, reefs, like those around Rapa Nui, could tear a canoe's hull, leaving you clinging to wreckage. As archaeological finds of broken vessels suggest, for us, the uncertainty might erode resolve. The land's call a whisper too faint to trust. Mysteries veiled their journeys. A 10th century Tahitian legend speaks of a waka lost to a starless night, its crew's fate unknown. As oral traditions note, you're there, the sky dark, the sea endless, the air thick with questions. Excavations on Rapa Nui found canoes abandoned mid-voyage, their purpose debated. As archaeological journals detail, these enigmas, woven into the sea's embrace, gave voyages an air of mystery. Their challenges a test of spirit. The Polynesian voyagers, from Hawaii's shores to Rapa Nui's cliffs, sailed with courage we might struggle to muster. Their legacy, a starlit path. Now, let's turn to the legend of Kupe, where a hero's journey shaped a people's destiny. Its trials, a quiet echo of the sea, the legacy of Polynesian exploration in the ancient Polynesian world. From the 1st to the 13th centuries, voyagers wove a legacy of exploration that stretched across the Pacific, from Hawaii to Rapa Nui, Tahiti to Aotearoa. Their journeys, guided by stars and courage, settled islands, built communities, and left stories etched in oral traditions and stone. This legacy, carried by wakas and whispered in chants, endures in modern Polynesian cultures. Their voyages a testament to human spirit. To live their legacy was to honor a past that shaped the sea's vast tapestry, a challenge that might leave us in awe of its depth. As you rest in the night's gentle calm, picture yourself on a Pacific shore, the waves lapping softly, a distant song echoing, the air warm with salt and memory. The legacy of Polynesian exploration is a starlit dream, but its weight reveals why survival was a fragile hope. Let's drift into their world, where journeys met eternity, and every story held a legacy. The voyages shaped a vast network. Polynesians settled over 1,000 islands, from the Marquesas to Hawaii, their wakas linking distant lands. As archaeological trade evidence confirms, you're there, the sea gleaming, the air fresh with a new shore scent, a village forming. Obsidian from Rapa Nui reached Mangareva. Sweet potatoes from South America spread to Polynesia. As 20th century digs show, for us, the choice to sail into the unknown, leaving kin behind, might feel like stepping into a dream without end, the heart heavy with doubt. The sea tested Kupe's skill, sailing from Hawaii, likely near Raiatea or Rarotonga. Kupe navigated by stars and swells, his knowledge honed since youth. As Polynesian navigation texts describe, Maori chants of Kupe's voyage to Aotearoa, passed down for centuries, guide modern navigators. As Waitangi tribunal records note, you're there, the fires glow warm, the air thick with song, a storyteller's voice steady. In Tahiti, tales of Oro's blessings kept rituals alive. As 18th century logs from Captain Cook describe, a forgotten chant could fade a hero's name. As Rarotongan tales lament, for us, the burden of memory, the weight of unwritten words, might cloud our spirit. The stories, a delicate thread. Canoes were their enduring craft, the double-hulled waka, like the Hokulea, inspired modern replicas, their designs unchanged. As Polynesian Voyaging Society records show, the Mata'aurua carrying 25 souls, was provisioned with taro, yams, and dried fish. But stores were finite. As Polynesian voyaging records suggest, archaeological finds of ancient paddles in Rapa Nui confirm their skill. But a flawed canoe could doom a voyage, as tales of wrecks suggest. For us, the craft's precision, the sea's unyielding test, might sap our resolve. The waka's strength, a fragile vow. The moai of Rapa Nui stand as stone witnesses. Nearly 1,000 statues, carved to honor ancestors, draw pilgrims today, their mana undimmed. As UNESCO logs note, you're there, the moai's gaze steady, the air heavy with reverence, the cliffs silent, their creation strained the island, as pollen studies of deforestation show. Yet their presence endures. For us, the weight of such monuments, the cost of their glory, might erode our spirit. The stones silence a heavy echo. Spiritual beliefs shaped their legacy. Tangaroa's guidance, invoked in chants, lives in modern Polynesian rituals. As Hawaiian records note, you're there, the altar's smoke rising, the air warm with faith, a priest's prayer soft, tapu and mana, once guarding voyages, inform cultural practices, as Maori traditions recount. In Cook Strait, Kupe battled Mucherangi's beast, striking its head after a fierce struggle, as Maori tales recount. For us, the sacred weight, the fear of unseen forces, might unsettle our calm. The divine whispers a mystery too vast. Modern revival carries their flame. The 1976 Hokula voyage from Hawaii to Tahiti, using traditional navigation, rekindled pride. As Polynesian Voyaging Society logs confirm. For us, facing such a trial, real or imagined, might shatter our nerve. The ocean's power too vast to confront, its mysteries a shadow over the mind. Landfall brought no easy rest. Kupe landed at Hokianga Harbor, its sands welcoming, but exploration demanded vigilance. As tribal annals note, you're there, the shore firm, Kupe scanning for threats, the air fresh with Pohutukawa's scent. He coasted Aotearoa, mapping its rivers and cliffs. But unknown lands held risks, hostile peoples, or scarce food. As later Maori migrations suggest. For us, the uncertainty of a strange shore, far from home, might erode our spirit. The land's promise laced with fear. Mysteries veil Kupe's tale. Some tribes say he returned to Hawaii, others that he stayed, his fate lost to time. As Waitangi tribunal records note, you're there, the waka fading, the air thick with questions, the legend unanswered. A 10th century Rarotongan tale speaks of a lost waka, its crew's story on the mystery of Easter Island's moai in the far reaches of the Pacific, from the 10th to the 16th centuries. The Rapa Nui people of Easter Island carved towering stone statues, the moai, that stand like silent sentinels on a windswept shore. These giants, hewn from volcanic rock, gaze across the sea, their creation a marvel of skill and devotion that might leave us humbled and breathless in its shadow. To craft and raise a moai was to wrestle with stone and spirit. A task so immense it tested the island's heart. As you rest in the night's gentle calm, picture yourself on Rapa Nui's grassy slopes, a moai's shadow falling across you, the air cool with sea mist and whispers of ancient labor. The mystery of the moai is a tale of endurance, but its demands reveal why survival was a fragile dream. Let's drift into their world, where stone met faith, and every statue held a story. The moai were born from Rapa Nui's volcanic heart, carved from the tuff of Rano Raraku, a crater quarry. These statues, some over 30 feet tall, numbered nearly 1000. As archaeological surveys note, you're there, the quarry's dust clinging to your skin, the air sharp with chipped stone, a carver's hammer steady. Each moai, shaped with basalt tools, took months, their faces etched to honor ancestors, as oral traditions from Rapa Nui suggest. For us, the sheer weight of the task chiseling stone under a blazing sun might sap our strength. The quarry's heat a relentless trial, as studies of Rapa Nui's climate indicate. Moving the moai was a feat of ingenuity. Rapa Nui's people, numbering perhaps 7,000 at their peak, used ropes of how bark and wooden sledges to shift statues miles across rocky terrain. As 20th century experiments by Thor Heyerdahl confirm, you're there, the ropes taut in your hands, the moai swaying, the air warm with shared effort. Some theories suggest statues were walked upright, rocked by teams, their steps a rhythmic chant. As archaeologist Carl Lipo's studies propose, yet a misstep could crack a moai. Months of labor lost, as quarry finds of broken statues show. For us, the strain of pulling tons of stone, the risk of failure looming, might fray our resolve. The task, a mountain too steep to climb. Raising the moai tested the island's unity on stone platforms called ahu. Moai were erected to face inland, guarding clans. As Rapa Nui oral histories note, you're there, the statue rising, the air alive with chants. The seas hum distant, teams of dozens, guided by chiefs, used ramps and levers, their timing precise. As 1990s reconstructions demonstrate, a single error could topple a moai, endangering lives. As archaeological evidence of shattered bases suggests, for us, the pressure of such coordination, the weight of stone and expectation, might overwhelm. The community's hope a burden too heavy to bear. Resources were the island's fragile pulse. Rapa Nui's forests, once lush with palms, dwindled as wood was cut for sledges and fires. As pollen studies from the 1980s reveal, you're there, the trees sparse, the air dry with dust. A carver's fire, small but vital, taro and fish sustained workers. But droughts could shrink harvests, hunger gnawing at strength. As paleobotanical records note, the Polynesian rat, introduced by voyagers, ravaged crops, its quiet theft a slow drain. As ecological studies confirm, for us, the scarcity of food and wood, the island's gifts fading might sap our spirit, survival a whisper on the wind. The moi's purpose was sacred but costly. Each statue honored an ancestor, its eyes once inlaid with coral, believed to hold mana, a spiritual power. As Rapa Nui traditions recount, you're there, the moi's gaze steady, a priest's prayer soft, the air heavy with reverence, yet buildings so many strained the island. As archaeologist Joanne Van Tilburg notes, clans competed, each Ahu grander, their rivalry sowing discord. As oral tales hint for us, the weight of sacred duty, the tension of clan pride, might unravel our patience, the island's harmony a fragile thread. Decline cast a shadow over the Moai by the 17th century. Deforestation and scarcity halted carving. Many statues toppled in clan conflicts. As archaeological surveys show, you're there, a Moai fallen, the air still with loss, the grass reclaiming stone. European contact in 1722 brought disease, further dimming Rapa Nui's light. As Dutch explorer Jacob Roggeveen's logs note for us, living through such decline, the island's bounty fading, might crush our hope. The Moi's silence, a heavy echo of loss. Mysteries veil the Moi's story, a half-carved statue in Rano Raraku, found in 1868, lies unfinished, its purpose debated. As archaeological journals note, you're there, the stone untouched, the air thick with questions, the riddle unanswered. Oral tales speak of a Moai that walked alone, its journey unexplained. As Rapa Nui elders recount, these enigmas, carved in volcanic rock, give the Moai an air of mystery. Their creation a challenge we might falter to meet. The Rapa Nui, from quarry slopes to ocean cliffs, crafted giants with unwavering faith. Their legacy, a stone-bound dream. Now, let's turn to life as a Polynesian chief, where leadership wove community and sacrifice. Its burdens, a quiet test. Life as a Polynesian chief in the ancient Polynesian world. From the 1st to the 13th centuries, chiefs stood as the heart of their people, guiding communities across islands like Tahiti, Rapa Nui, and Aotearoa with wisdom and mana, a sacred power. In villages of thatched hail or stone-walled mary, chiefs led rituals, settled disputes, and steered voyages, their lives a delicate balance of duty and reverence. To be a chief was to carry a people's hopes, a role so weighty it might leave us trembling under its demands. As you drift in the night's gentle calm, picture yourself in a Polynesian village, the palm fronds rustling, a chief's chant soft in the distance, the air warm with sea breeze and community. Life as a chief was a tapestry of leadership and sacrifice, but its trials reveal why survival was a fragile hope. Let's wander into their world, where duty met devotion, and every choice held a story. A chief's authority was sacred, rooted in mana. In Tahiti, chiefs, or eri, were seen as descendants of gods like Aro, their power divine. As oral traditions note, you're there, the chief's cloak of feathers bright, the air heavy with reverence, a village gathered on Rapa Nui. Chiefs oversaw moai construction, their word guiding quarry labor. As archaeological records from Rano Waraku show, yet this power demanded humility. A chief's misstep could anger spirits, bringing drought. As Maori tales warn, for us, the weight of divine expectation, every choice watched by gods and kin, might fray our spirit, the mantle too heavy to bear. Daily life was a web of responsibilities in Aotearoa. Maori chiefs led hapu, or sub-tribes, organizing fishing and planting, their decisions ensuring bounty. As tribal histories recount, you're there, the air fresh with taro scent, the chief's voice calm, the village bustling on Rapa Nui. Chiefs mediated clan disputes over land, their wisdom preserving peace. As oral tales suggest, meetings in the mari, a sacred courtyard, stretched late, their chants binding the community. As Hawaiian records note, for us, the endless tasks judging, planning, blessing, might exhaust our patience. The village needs a tide that never ebbs. Rituals were a chief's sacred duty in Tahiti. Eri led offerings to gods, burning breadfruit at stone altars, their prayers ensuring harvests. As 18th century logs from Captain Cook describe, you're there, the fires glow warm, the chiefs chant steady, the air thick with smoke and faith. On Rapa Nui, chiefs blessed moai, their mana vital to the statue's power. As oral traditions note, a failed ritual could unsettle the people. As Maori stories of barren seasons hint, for us, the pressure to commune with spirits, the fear of divine displeasure, might cloud our heart. The altars weight a quiet burden. Voyages tested a chief's courage in Aotearoa. Chiefs like Kupe led wakas to new lands, their navigation guiding crews. As Maori oral histories confirm, you're there, the waka rocking, the chief's eyes on the stars, the air salty with spray on Rapa Nui. Chiefs oversaw voyages to Mangarva, their canoes laden with obsidian. As archaeological trade evidence shows, a lost waka could doom a clan, its chief blamed. As Tahitian tales warn, for us, the sea's vast uncertainty, the crew's lives in our hands, might unravel our resolve. The horizon, a question too vast to answer. Resources were a chief's delicate balance on Rapa Nui. Chiefs managed taro and fish, their allocations staving off hunger. As paleobotanical studies note, you're there, the storehouse low, the chief's voice firm, the air tense with need. In Tahiti, chiefs oversaw irrigation for taro fields, their ditches channeling water. As 19th century accounts describe, scarcity could spark unrest. A Rapa Nui tale speaks of a chief challenged over failed crops. As oral histories hint, for us, the strain of rationing, the fear of rebellion, might wear our spirit thin. The island's gifts a fading hope. Conflict was a shadow over leadership on Rapa Nui. Chiefs faced clan rivalries, their moai building fueling tensions. As archaeological evidence of toppled statues suggests, you're there, the air sharp with anger, the chief's words soothing, the village divided in Aotearoa. chiefs mediated hapu disputes, their diplomacy averting strife. As Maori traditions note, a misjudgment could fracture unity. As Hawaiian tales of banished chiefs warn, for us, the burden of peacemaking, the weight of every word, might overwhelm our calm, the village's harmony a fragile thread. Mysteries cloaked a chief's life, a Rapa Nui Ahu, found in 1868, bore an unmarked stone, its chief's name lost. As archaeological journals note, you're there, the stone silent, the air thick with questions, the riddle unanswered. Maori legends speak of a chief lost to Hine Mona's waves, his fate unwritten. As oral tales recount, these enigmas, woven into leadership, gave chiefs an air of mystery, their lives a challenge we might struggle to meet. Polynesian chiefs, from Tahiti's Mary to Rapa Nui's cliffs, wove their people's dreams, their legacy a starlit vow. Now let's drift into the calm of sleep, where the echoes of Polynesian voyages linger, their stories a gentle lullaby, the art of canoe building in the ancient Polynesian world. From the 1st to the 13th centuries, canoe builders crafted vessels that danced across the Pacific's boundless waves, carrying voyagers from Hawaii to distant shores like Aotearoa and Rapa Nui. These double-hulled wakas, woven from wood, fiber, and faith, were the lifeline of Polynesian exploration, their creation a blend of skill, ritual, and endurance. To be a canoe builder was to shape a people's dreams, a task so intricate it might leave us weary under its weight. As you drift in the night's gentle calm, picture yourself in a Polynesian village, the air warm with the scent of carved koa, a builder's adze striking softly. The seas hum a distant lullaby. The art of canoe building was a craft of patience, but its demands reveal why survival was a fragile hope. Let's wander into their world, where wood met water, and every plank held a story. Canoe building began with the forest's gift in islands like Tahiti or Hawaii. Builders sought mighty trees koa, breadfruit, or tamanu, whose trunks could bear the sea's embrace. As Hawaiian oral traditions note, you're there, the forest cool, the air rich with sap. A builder testing a tree's strength. Felling a tree was a sacred act, guided by priests who chanted to Tain, the god of forests. As Maori legends describe, a single misjudgment could ruin a trunk. Months of labor lost. As archaeological finds of cracked logs suggest for us, the weight of choosing the perfect tree, the forest's silence watching, might stir unease, the task a quiet test of nerve. Carving the hull was a labor of precision. Builders used edzes of basalt or shell, their blades honed to shape planks. As excavations of Polynesian tools confirm, you're there, the adze rhythm steady, wood shavings curling, the air warm with effort. A double-hulled waka, like the Mata'aurua, required 2 hulls lashed together, their balance critical. As Polynesian voyaging society records note, a flawed cut could weaken the canoe, inviting leaks. As tales of failed voyages hint for us, the endless carving, hands blistered under the sun, might sap our strength. The hulls curve a puzzle too delicate to solve. Binding the canoe was a craft of trust. Builders wove coconut fiber into sennit, a rope strong enough to hold hulls against storms. As Hawaiian accounts describe, you're there, the fiber rough in your hands, the air salty with sea breeze, a knot pulled tight, sails of pandanus leaves, woven by women, caught the wind's breath, their patterns intricate, as archaeological finds from Rapa Nui show. A weak knot or torn sail could falter at sea, leaving crews adrift. As oral tales warn, for us, the patience to weave endless cords, the fear of failure looming, might fray our resolve. The canoe's strength, a fragile vow. Sealing the vessel was a delicate art. Builders used sap from breadfruit trees or taro to caulk seams, their hands sticky with resin. As Tahitian records note, you're there, the sap warm, the air heavy with its tang. A builder smoothing a plank, a single missed crack could invite the sea's whisper, sinking hopes. As stories of lost wakas suggest, on Rapa Nui, scarce wood forced builders to patch old canoes, their repairs a gamble. As paleobotanical studies indicate, for us, the constant vigilance, the sea's threat ever present, might weigh heavy, the task a dance with uncertainty. Rituals wove the canoe with mana before launch. Priests blessed the waka, offering chants to Tangaroa, the sea god. As Maori traditions recount, you're there, the altar's smoke rising, the air thick with reverence, the crew silent. A flawed ritual could anger spirits, bringing storms. As Rarotongan tales warn, builders carved symbols like the spiral koru into hulls, their lines a prayer for safety. As archaeological finds in Aotearoa show, for us, the burden of sacred rites, the fear of divine displeasure, might cloud our heart. The canoe's spirit, a mystery too vast. The community's hope rested on the builders. Villages gathered to haul the waka to shore, their chants a rhythm of unity. As Hawaiian accounts note, you're there, the canoe heavy, the air alive with song, the sea waiting. Chiefs oversaw the work, their approval vital. But a flawed vessel could shame a builder. As oral histories hint, on Rapa Nui, deforestation strained builders, their wood scarce. As pollen studies confirm, for us, the weight of a village's trust, the scarcity of resources, might erode our spirit. The canoes launch a fragile dream. Mysteries cloaked their craft. A Rapa Nui canoe, found half-built in 1868, lies abandoned, its purpose lost. As archaeological journals note, you're there, the hull unfinished, the air thick with questions, the riddle unanswered. Maori legends speak of a waka buried in a forest, its builders vanished. As oral tales recount, these enigmas, carved in wood, gave the craft an air of mystery. Its demands a challenge we might struggle to meet. Polynesian canoe builders, from Tahiti's shores to Rapa Nui's cliffs, shaped vessels of faith. Their legacy, a wave-born dream. Now, let's turn to the spiritual world of Polynesian voyagers, where gods and rituals guided the sea. Their whispers, a quiet strength. The spiritual world of Polynesian voyagers in the ancient Polynesian world. From the 1st to the 13th centuries, voyagers sailed the Pacific with spirits as their guides. Their faith woven into the stars and waves, from Hawaii to Rapa Nui, from Tahiti to Aotearoa. Their spiritual world was a tapestry of gods, rituals, and omens, binding crews to the divine in a sea that could cradle or claim. To live as a voyager was to walk with Tangaroa, the sea god, and trust in Mana's quiet power, a challenge that might leave us adrift in its sacred weight. As you rest in the night's gentle calm, picture yourself on a waka, the stars bright above, a priest's chant soft, the air warm with salt and reverence. The spiritual world of voyagers was a beacon in the dark, but its demands reveal why survival was a fragile hope. Let's drift into their world, where faith met the sea, and every prayer held a story. The gods were ever-present companions. Tangaroa, ruler of the seas, guided voyages. His favor sought through offerings. As Hawaiian oral traditions note, you're there, a fish tossed to the waves, the air heavy with salt, a priest's voice steady. In Tahiti, Oro, the god of war and fertility, blessed wakas, his chants ensuring safe passage. As 18th century logs from Captain Cook describe, a displeased god could stir storms, as Maori tales warn, leaving crews to face Hein Mona's wrath. For us, the fear of divine judgment, the sea's mood a mystery, might unsettle our heart. The gods will a riddle too vast. Rituals anchored the journey's start. Before sailing, priests blessed canoes with kava or coconut offerings, their chants weaving mana into the hull. As Rarotongan records note, you're there, the kava's scent sharp, the air thick with reverence, the crew silent. In Aotearoa, Karakia prayers invoked Tain for strength, their words a shield against the sea's pull. As Maori traditions recount, a flawed rite could falter the waka's spirit. As tales of lost voyages hint, for us, the precision of sacred chants, the weight of unseen forces, might overwhelm our calm. The ritual's power a fragile thread. Omens guided every paddle stroke. Seabirds, like the frigate bird, signaled land, their wings a whisper of hope. As Polynesian navigation texts describe, you're there, a bird circling, the air fresh with land's promise, the crew's eyes bright, yet a shark's shadow or a clouded star could warn of danger. As Tahitian tales note, wayfinders read these signs, their knowledge sacred. But a misread omen could lead to empty seas. As Rapa Nui stories warn, for us, the burden of interpreting nature's signs, the sea's secrets elusive, might fray our resolve. Each omen a question of fate. Mana was the voyager's strength. Chiefs and wayfinders carried mana, a divine power earned through deeds. As Hawaiian accounts note, you're there, the chief's presence steady, the air warm with trust, the waka gliding, a loss of mana through a failed voyage or broken tapu could weaken the crew. As Maori legends of shamed leaders suggest, rituals like touching a moi's coral eyes on Rapa Nui restored mana. As oral traditions recount, For us, the weight of spiritual power, the fear of its loss, might cloud our spirit, the divine spark of fragile light. Taboos, or tapu, shaped every act. Eating certain fish mid-voyage was forbidden, lest Tangaroa withdraw favor. As Tahitian records note, "You're there, the fish untouched, the air tense with restraint, the crew watchful on Rapa Nui. Touching a sacred ahu without ritual could curse a voyage." As oral tales warn, breaking tapu risked the sea's anger. As stories of wrecked wakas hint, for us, the constant vigilance, the rules woven into daily life, might wear our patience thin. The tapus shadow a heavy burden. The community's faith bound the crew. Villages gathered to bless wakas, their songs a tapestry of hope. As Hawaiian traditions describe, "You're there, the shore alive with voices, the air rich with unity, the sea waiting." Priests led prayers, their words linking crew to ancestors. As Maori records note, yet doubt could ripple a mischant, a wavering voice, unsettling spirits. As Rarotongan tales suggest, for us, the pressure of collective faith, the crew's hopes resting on us, might erode our calm, the community's trust a tide too strong. Mysteries cloaked their beliefs. A Rapa Nui altar, found in 1868, held an unmarked shell, its ritual lost. As archaeological journals note, "You're there, the shell still, the air thick with questions, the riddle unanswered." Maori legends speak of a priest lost to the sea, his prayers unfinished. As oral tales recount, these enigmas, woven into faith, gave the spiritual world an air of mystery. Its demands a challenge we might struggle to meet. Polynesian voyagers, from Hawaii stars to Rapa Nui's shores, sailed with divine whispers, their legacy a sacred dream. Now let's drift into the calm of sleep, where the echoes of Polynesian spirits linger, their prayers a gentle lullaby. Daily life of a Polynesian voyager in the ancient Polynesian world. From the 1st to the 13th centuries, voyagers lived their days on the open Pacific, their lives a delicate dance between the sea's rhythm and the waka's fragile embrace. From the shores of Hawaii to distant islands like Rapa Nui and Aotearoa, these seafarers paddled, mended sails, and read the stars, their routines woven with skill and survival. To live as a Polynesian voyager was to embrace a life of constant motion, a challenge that might leave us weary under its endless demands. As you rest in the night's gentle calm, picture yourself on a double-hulled canoe, the waves lapping softly, the air warm with salt, and the crew's quiet murmurs. The daily life of a voyager was a tapestry of toil and trust, but its trials reveal why survival was a fragile hope. Let's drift into their world, where each day met the sea, and every task held a story. A voyager's day began with dawn's first light. As the sun rose over the Pacific, the crew stirred on the waka's deck, their mats of woven pandanus damp with dew. As Hawaiian oral traditions note, "You're there, the horizon glowing, the air cool with morning's breath, your body stiff from sleep." The wayfinder scanned the sky, checking stars like Arcturus to to confirm the course. As Polynesian navigation texts describe, a moment's inattention could drift the canoe off path, leading to empty seas. As tales of lost wakas warn, for us, the early rise, the need for unwavering focus, might blur our senses. The dawn's call a weight too heavy to lift. Paddling was the crew's heartbeat in wakas like the Mataaua. Teams of 10 or more paddled in rhythm, their strokes guided by chance. As Maori records recount, you're there, the paddle heavy in your hands, the air alive with song. The seas pull steady, hours of paddling blistered hands, the sun's heat burning skin. As archaeological finds of ancient paddles suggest, when winds favored, sails were raised, but shifts in breeze demanded quick adjustments. As Tahitian voyaging accounts note, for us, the endless exertion, the arms aching with each stroke, might sap our strength. The wakas, rhythm a trial too relentless to sustain. Provisions were a daily concern, taro, breadfruit, and dried fish, packed in woven baskets, were rationed carefully. As Rapa Nui oral histories describe, you're there, the taros taste earthy, the air thick with hunger's edge. A crew member counting portions, water stored in gourds, was sipped sparingly, its supply dwindling under the sun. As Polynesian Voyaging Society records confirm, the Polynesian rat, a silent stowaway, could nibble stores, as paleobotanical studies show, leaving hunger to whisper through the crew. For us, the constant rationing, the fear of scarcity, might fray our patience, the sea's vastness amplifying every want. Repairs kept the waka alive, leaks in the hull, sealed with breadfruit sap, demanded daily checks. As Hawaiian accounts note, you're there, the sap sticky on your fingers, the air warm with effort. The hulls creak a warning, sails of pandanus, torn by squalls, needed patching, their weave delicate. As archaeological finds from Rarotonga show, a weak seam could invite the sea's embrace, sinking hopes. As tales of wrecked canoes hint, for us, the meticulous tasks, the pressure of the sea's threat, might cloud our focus. The waka's fragility, a constant shadow. Community bound the crew's spirit. Days were filled with shared tasks, bailing water, mending ropes, chanting to Tangaroa. As Maori traditions recount, you're there, the crew's laughter soft, the air rich with unity. The seas hum steady, yet tensions could flare a paddle missed. A ration disputed testing bonds. As Tahitian tales suggest, the wayfinder's word was law, but doubt could ripple. As stories of lost trust warn, for us, the weight of living so closely, the crew's harmony fragile, might wear our spirit thin. The waka's unity, a delicate thread. Rituals wove faith into the day. At dusk, the crew offered prayers to Tangaroa, tossing fish or coconut into the waves. As Rapa Nui records note, you're there, the offering sinking, the air heavy with reverence, the stars emerging, omens, like a frigate bird's flight, were read with care, their meaning guiding the course. As Polynesian navigation texts describe, a mist sign could anger spirits, bringing storms. As oral tales warn, for us, the burden of sacred duties, the fear of unseen forces might unsettle our heart. The divine whispers a mystery too vast. Rest was a fleeting gift. Nights on the Waka offered little comfort. The deck swaying, the air cool with spray. As Hawaiian voyaging accounts note, you're there, the mat thin beneath you, the sea's lullaby restless. The crew's snores soft, sleep was broken by watches. The wayfinder scanning for stars or swells. As Maori legends describe, a moment's lapse could drift the canoe. As tales of lost voyages hint, for us, the lack of true rest, the sea's constant motion, might erode our strength. The night's calm a promise unkept. Mysteries cloaked their days. A Rapa Nui Waka, found in 1870, bore a carved symbol, its meaning lost. As archaeological journals note, you're there, the carving faint, the air thick with questions, the riddle unanswered. Maori tales speak of a crew lost to a starless night, their daily tasks unfinished. As oral traditions recount, these enigmas, woven into the sea's rhythm, gave the Voyager's life an air of mystery. Its demands a challenge we might struggle to meet. Polynesian voyagers, from Hawaii's waves to Aotearoa's shores, lived with the sea's pulse, their legacy a starlit dream. Now, let's turn to the perils of the open sea, where storms and shadows tested courage, their trials a quiet whisper of danger. Perils of the open sea in the ancient Polynesian world. From the 1st to the 13th centuries, the open sea was both a path and a peril for voyagers sailing from Hawaii to islands like Rapa Nui, Tahiti, and Aotearoa. Storms, hunger, and the sea's vast indifference tested every waka, their crews clinging to skill and faith to survive. To face the Pacific's trials was to dance with forces beyond control, a challenge that might leave us trembling in its shadow. As you drift in the night's gentle calm, picture yourself on a waka, the waves rising, the winds howl faint, the air heavy with salt and uncertainty. The perils of the open sea were a test of endurance, but their weight reveals why survival was a fragile hope. Let's wander into their world, where danger met courage, and every wave held a story. Storms were the sea's sudden wrath. A squall could rise without warning, its winds tearing sails. As Tahitian oral traditions recount, you're there, the waka tilting, the air thick with spray, the crew's shouts muffled. Waves, some 20 feet high, could swamp a canoe. As 1999 reconstructions of voyages to Rapa Nui suggest, furling sails demanded swift hands, a delay risking ruin. As Maori tales of wrecked wakas note, for us, the chaos of a storm, the waka's fragility exposed, might unravel our nerve. The sea's fury a force too wild to face. Hunger was a silent foe. Provisions, taro, yams, dried fish were packed tightly. But weeks at sea, like the 17-day journey from Mangareva to Rapa Nui, could exhaust stores. As Polynesian Voyaging Society records confirm, you're there, the basket nearly empty, the air sharp with want, a ration small in your hand, the Polynesian rat, a stowaway, could ruin food. It's nibbling a quiet theft, as paleobotanical studies show. Water stored in gourds grew stale, its scarcity a constant worry. As Hawaiian accounts note, for us, the gnawing hunger, the thirst's slow burn, might sap our spirit. The sea's vastness, a mirror of lack. Navigation errors were a creeping danger. Wayfinders read stars, swells, and birds, their knowledge guiding the waka. As Polynesian navigation texts describe, you're there, the stars veiled by clouds, the air tense with doubt. The wayfinders gaze steady, a misread swell could lead to empty seas. As Rarotongan tales of lost crews warn, the Pacific's currents, like the South Equatorial, could pull a waka off course. As modern studies note, for us, the weight of such precision, the fear of being lost, might cloud our heart. The horizon, a riddle without end. Sharks and sea creatures loomed as omens. A shark's fin, circling the waka, signaled Tangaroa's displeasure. As Maori legends recount, you're there, the fin cutting the water, the air heavy with fear. The crew's prayers soft, wails well revered, could capsize a canoe with a careless breach. As Tahitian tales suggest, these encounters, rare but potent, demanded calm, their meaning read by priests. As oral traditions note, for us, the sight of a dorsal fin, the sea's hidden threats, might freeze our courage. The ocean's depth a shadow too deep. Illness whispered through the crew, cramped on the waka. Diseases like fever spread swiftly. As 18th century European logs of Polynesian voyages hint, you're there, a crew member shivering, the air warm but heavy. The healer's herbs few, salt sores from constant spray-stung skin. As Hawaiian accounts describe, weakening paddlers, no medicine could cure a plague at sea. As tales of lost wakas lament, for us, the slow drain of sickness, the lack of rest, might erode our strength. The wakas confines a quiet trap. Isolation was the sea's heaviest burden, weeks without land, like the journey to Aotearoa, stretched the mind. As Maori oral histories note, you're there, the horizon unchanging, the air thick with silence, the crew's voices faint, the wayfinder's solitude, bearing the crew's fate, could weigh heavy. As Rapa Nui tales suggest, madness could creep in, a crew member's gaze lost to the waves. As Tahitian stories warn, for us, the endless blue, the absence of land's promise, might unravel our hope. The sea's vastness, a mirror of despair. Mysteries veiled the sea's trials, a Rapa Nui wreck, found in 1875, held a broken paddle with an unknown glyph, its story lost. As archaeological journals note, you're there, the wood worn, the air thick with questions, the riddle unanswered. Maori legends speak of a waka swallowed by a rogue wave, its crew's fate unwritten. As oral tales recount, these enigmas, woven into the sea's embrace, gave the perils an air of mystery. Their dangers, a challenge we might struggle to meet. Polynesian voyagers, from Hawaii's currents to Rapa Nui's shores, faced the sea's wrath with quiet courage. Their legacy, a wave-born dream. Now, let's drift into the calm of sleep, where the echoes of Polynesian perils linger, their courage a gentle lullaby. Women in Polynesian voyaging communities in the ancient Polynesian world. From the 1st to the 13th centuries, women were the quiet strength of voyaging communities, weaving the fabric of life on islands like Tahiti, Rapa Nui, and Aotearoa, from crafting sails to preserving food, from guiding rituals to joining voyages. Their roles were vital to the success of sea journeys, their hands shaping the heart of every waka's departure. To be a woman in a voyaging community was to carry the weight of tradition and survival, a challenge that might leave us humbled by its depth. As you drift in the night's gentle calm, picture yourself in a Polynesian village, the air warm with the scent of pandanus, a woman's song soft over the loom. The seas whisper a distant lullaby. The women of Polynesia were the backbone of exploration, but their labors reveal why survival was a fragile hope. Let's wander into their world, where skill met devotion, and every task held a story. Women wove the sails that caught the wind's breath. In Tahiti, they crafted pandanus leaves into intricate sails, their fingers deft on looms. As Hawaiian oral traditions note, you're there, the leaves rustling, the air thick with their sweet scent, a weaver's rhythm steady. These sails, essential for wakas like the Mataaurua, required weeks of work. They're weaved tight to withstand storms, as archaeological finds of sail fragments confirm. A flawed stitch could tear at sea, endangering the crew, as Rarotongan tales warn. For us, the patience of endless weaving, the pressure of perfection, might fray our spirit. The looms demand a quiet test of endurance. Food preservation was a woman's art. On Rapa Nui, women dried fish and mashed taro into poi, their hands packing baskets for voyages. As paleobotanical studies show, you're there, the fish's tang sharp, the air warm with labor, a basket sealed tight. Provisions had to last weeks, like the 17-day journey to Rapa Nui. As Polynesian Voyaging Society records note, the Polynesian rat, a hidden foe, could ruin stores, as ecological studies confirm, leaving women to guard against loss. For us, the meticulous care, the fear of hunger's shadow, might weigh heavy. The stores, a fragile promise of survival. Rituals relied on women's sacred roles. In Aotearoa, women of high rank, like Kupe's wife Cura Maritini, joined voyages, their presence blessing the waka. As Maori oral histories recount, you're there, the chant soft, the air heavy with reverence, the sea calm. On Tahiti, women priests offered prayers to Hina, the moon goddess, for safe passage, as 18th century logs from Captain Cook describe. A misspoken prayer could unsettle spirits, as oral tales warn, bringing squalls. For us, the burden of sacred duties, the weight of divine trust, might cloud our heart. The ritual's power, a mystery too vast. Women joined voyages, their courage vital. Cura Maritini spotted Aotearoa's long white cloud, her voice guiding the Mataaurua. As Maori legends note, you're there, the horizon faint, the air fresh with land's promise, her eyes sharp on Rapa Nui. Women paddled alongside men, their strength steadying the waka. As oral traditions suggest, the sea's trial storms, hunger tested all, and a woman's resolve was no less. As Tahitian tales recount, for us, the physical strain, the sea's relentless pull, might sap our strength. The waka's rhythm a challenge too fierce. Community tasks bound women to the village. In Hawaii, they tended taro fields, their irrigation ditches channeling water. As archaeological records note, you're there, the mud cool underfoot, the air alive with women's laughter, the fields green. They crafted cordage from coconut fiber, their knots securing wakas. As Rarotongan finds show, a weak rope could fail at sea. As stories of lost voyages hint, for us, the endless labor, the village needs ever-present, might wear our patience thin. The community's hope a heavy thread. Child rearing sustained the future. Women taught children navigation songs, their voices passing down star paths. As Maori traditions describe, you're there, a child listening, the air warm with song, the stars bright on Rapa Nui. Mothers guarded food stores, their care shielding families from scarcity. As paleobotanical studies note, a failed crop could strain the clan. As oral tales warn, for us, the weight of nurturing, the fear of want, might erode our spirit. The children's trust a delicate bond. Mysteries cloaked their roles, a Rapa Nui weaving tool, found in 1870, bore an unmarked glyph, its maker lost. As archaeological journals note, you're there, the tool still, the air thick with questions, the riddle unanswered. Maori legends speak of a woman who blessed a waka, her name forgotten. As oral tales recount, these enigmas, woven into daily tasks, gave women's lives an air of mystery. Their labors a challenge we might struggle to meet. Polynesian women, from Tahiti's looms to Rapa Nui's shores, wove the heart of voyaging. Their legacy, a starlit dream. Now, let's turn to the legacy of Polynesian exploration, where ancient journeys shaped a timeless story. Their echoes, a quiet lullaby. The legacy of Polynesian exploration in the ancient Polynesian world. From the 1st to the 13th centuries, voyagers wove a legacy of exploration that stretched across the Pacific, from Hawaii to Rapa Nui, Tahiti to Aotearoa. Their journeys, guided by stars and courage, settled islands, built communities, and left stories etched in oral traditions and stone. This legacy, carried by wakas and whispered in chants, endures in modern Polynesian cultures. Their voyages a testament to human spirit. To live their legacy was to honor a past that shaped the sea's vast tapestry, a challenge that might leave us in awe of its depth. As you rest in the night's gentle calm, picture yourself on a Pacific shore, the waves lapping softly, a distant song echoing, the air warm with salt and memory. The legacy of Polynesian exploration is a starlit dream, but its weight reveals why survival was a fragile hope. Let's drift into their world, where journeys met eternity, and every story held a legacy. The voyages shaped a vast network. Polynesians settled over 1,000 islands, from the Marquesas to Hawaii, their wakas linking distant lands, as archaeological trade evidence confirms. You're there, the sea gleaming, the air fresh with a new shore scent, a village forming, obsidian from Rapa Nui reached Mangareva, sweet potatoes from South America spread to Polynesia. As 20th century digs show, for us, the choice to sail into the unknown, leaving kin behind, might feel like stepping into a dream without end, the heart heavy with doubt. The sea tested Kupe's skill, sailing from Hawaiki, likely near Raiatea or Rarotonga. Kupe navigated by stars and swells, his knowledge honed since youth, as Polynesian navigation texts describe. Maori chants of Kupe's voyage to Aotearoa, passed down for centuries, guide modern navigators, as Waitangi tribunal records note. You're there, the fires glow warm, the air thick with song, a storyteller's voice steady. In Tahiti, tales of Oro's blessings kept rituals alive, as 18th century logs from Captain Cook describe. A forgotten chant could fade a hero's name, as Rarotongan tales lament. For us, the burden of memory, the weight of unwritten words, might cloud our spirit, the stories a delicate thread. Canoes were their enduring craft, the double-hulled waka, like the Hokule, inspired modern replicas, their designs unchanged, as Polynesian Voyaging Society records show. The Mata'aurua, carrying 25 souls, was provisioned with taro, yams, and dried fish, but stores were finite, as Polynesian voyaging records suggest. Archaeological finds of ancient paddles in Rapa Nui confirm their skill, but a flawed canoe could doom a voyage, as tales of wrecks suggest. For us, the craft's precision, the sea's unyielding test, might sap our resolve, the waka's strength a fragile vow. The moai of Rapa Nui stand as stone witnesses. Nearly 1,000 statues, carved to honor ancestors, draw pilgrims today, their mana undimmed, as UNESCO logs note. You're there, the moai's gaze steady, the air heavy with reverence, the cliffs silent. Their creation strained the island, as pollen studies of deforestation show. Yet their presence endures. For us, the weight of such monuments, the cost of their glory, might erode our spirit. The stones silence a heavy echo. Spiritual beliefs shaped their legacy. Tangaroa's guidance, invoked in chants, lives in modern Polynesian rituals, as Hawaiian records note. You're there, the altar's smoke rising, the air warm with faith, a priest's prayer soft. Tapu and mana, once guarding voyages, inform cultural practices, as Maori traditions recount. In Cook Strait, Kupe battled Mucharangi's beast, striking its head after a fierce struggle, as Maori tales recount. For us, the sacred weight, the fear of unseen forces, might unsettle our calm. The divine whispers a mystery too vast. Modern revival carries their flame. The 1976 Hokule voyage from Hawaii to Tahiti, using traditional navigation, rekindled pride, as Polynesian Voyaging Society logs confirm. For us, facing such a trial real or imagined might shatter our nerve. The ocean's power too vast to confront. Its mysteries a shadow over the mind. Landfall brought no easy rest. Kupe landed at Hokianga Harbor, its sands welcoming, but exploration demanded vigilance. As tribal annals note, you're there, the shore firm, Kupe scanning for threats. The air fresh with Pohutukawa's scent, he coasted Aotearoa, mapping its rivers and cliffs. But unknown lands held risks, hostile peoples, or scarce food. As later Maori migrations suggest, for us, the uncertainty of a strange shore, far from home, might erode our spirit, the land's promise laced with fear. Mysteries veil Kupe's tale. Some tribes say he returned to Hawaii, others that he stayed, his fate lost to time. As Waitangi tribunal records note, you're there, the waka fading, the air thick with questions, the legend unanswered. A 10th century Rarotongan tale speaks of a lost waka, its crew's story unwritten, echoing Kupe's enigma. These shadows, woven into his journey, gave it an air of mystery. Its trials a test we might falter to meet. Kupe, from Hawaii's shores to Aotearoa's clouds, sailed with a hero's heart. His legacy, a starlit dream, the role of wayfinders in the ancient Polynesian world. From the 1st to the 13th centuries, wayfinders were the guiding stars of Pacific voyages. Their minds, a living map of the seas, vast secrets from Hawaii to distant shores like Rapa Nui, Tahiti, and Aotearoa. These navigators read the stars, swells, and birds to steer double-hulled wakas across thousands of miles. Carrying their people's hopes. To be a wayfinder was to hold a crew's fate in your memory. A role so profound, it might leave us trembling under its weight. As you drift in the night's gentle calm, picture yourself on a waka, the stars bright above, a wayfinder's gaze steady, the air warm with salt and quiet focus. The role of the wayfinder was a beacon of wisdom, but its demands reveal why survival was a fragile hope. Let's wander into their world, where knowledge met the sea, and every sign held a story. Wayfinders were trained from youth, their minds shaped by elders. In Tahiti, children memorized star paths, learning hundreds of celestial markers like the Southern Cross. As Polynesian navigation texts describe, you're there, the night sky vast, the air cool with a mentor's voice, a young wayfinder listening. Years of study honed their senses. Swells, winds, and bird flights became a language. As Hawaiian oral traditions note, a single lapse in memory could lead to empty seas. As tales of lost wakas warn, for us, the burden of such learning, the weight of endless stars, might cloud our focus. The skies map a puzzle too vast. Navigating by stars was their sacred art. At night, wayfinders followed Kavinga, star paths linking islands, like the route from Raiatea to Aotearoa. As Maori records recount, you're there, the waka gliding, the air sharp with salt. The wayfinder's eyes on Arcturus, clouds could veil the stars. forcing reliance on memory. As Polynesian voyaging society studies confirm, a misjudged angle could drift the canoe. As Rarotongan tales of stranded crews suggest, for us, the pressure of starless nights, the sea's silence pressing, might fray our resolve, the darkness a test too deep. Swells and winds were their silent guides. Wayfinders felt wave patterns, sensing distant islands through subtle ripples. As modern reconstructions of voyages to Rapa Nui show, you're there, the walker rocking gently, the air warm with sea spray, the wayfinder's hand on the hull, winds whispered directions, their shifts noted with care. As Hawaiian accounts describe, a misread swell could lead astray, provisions dwindling. As oral tales warn, for us, the challenge of reading the sea's pulse, the fear of error looming, might unsettle our heart. The waves, a riddle without end. Birds and omens signaled land's promise. Frigate birds or terns, flying homeward, pointed to islands. As Tahitian navigation lore notes, you're there, a bird's wing flashing, the air fresh with hope, the crew's eyes bright, yet a false sign, a lone bird. A deceptive cloud could mislead. As Maori stories of lost voyages hint, sharks or whales, seen as omens of Tangaroa's will, demanded interpretation. As Rapa Nui tales recount, for us, the weight of such signs, the sea's secrets elusive, might erode our courage. The omens, a shadow too vague. The crew's trust was the wayfinder's burden on wakas like the Mataaurua. The wayfinder's word was law, their decisions guiding life or loss. As Maori oral histories note, you're there, the crew paddling, the air thick with faith, the wayfinder's voice calm. Doubt could ripple a paddle's hesitation, a whispered fear testing leadership. As Tahitian tales suggest, a failed voyage could shame a wayfinder, their mana dimmed. As Rarotongan stories warn, for us, the weight of such trust, the crew's lives in our hands, might overwhelm our spirit. The waka's path, a fragile vow. Rituals wove mana into their role before sailing. Wayfinders joined priests in offerings to Tangaroa, their chants seeking favor. As Hawaiian records note, you're there, the kava's scent sharp, the air heavy with reverence, the sea waiting. A flawed prayer could anger spirits, bringing storms. As oral tales recount, wayfinders carried sacred objects, carved stones, or shells to guard the waka. As archaeological finds from Rapa Nui show, for us, the burden of divine rites, the fear of unseen forces, might cloud our calm. The rituals, a mystery too vast. Mysteries cloaked their craft. A Rapa Nui paddle, found in 1875, bore an unmarked glyph, its wayfinder lost. As archaeological journals note, you're there, the wood worn, the air thick with questions, the riddle unanswered. Maori legends speak of a wayfinder lost to a starless sea, their path unwritten. As oral tales recount, these enigmas, woven into the stars, gave the wayfinder's role an air of mystery. Its demands a challenge we might struggle to meet. Polynesian wayfinders, from Hawaii's skies to Aotearoa's shores, guided with quiet wisdom, their legacy a starlit dream. Now, let's turn to the decline of Polynesian voyaging, where journeys faded into memory, their echoes a quiet lullaby. The decline of Polynesian voyaging in the ancient Polynesian world, from the 13th to the 18th centuries. The great voyages that once threaded the Pacific from Hawaii to Rapa Nui, Tahiti, and Aotearoa began to fade, their wakas falling silent on distant shores as communities settled, resources dwindled, and new challenges arose. The art of long-distance voyaging slipped into memory, preserved in chants and legends. To live through this decline was to watch a starlit path dim, a change that might leave us adrift in its quiet sorrow. As you rest in the night's gentle calm, picture yourself on a Polynesian shore, the waves lapping softly, a waka still on the sand, the air warm with salt and fading dreams. The decline of Polynesian voyaging was a twilight of exploration, but its causes reveal why survival was a fragile hope. Let's drift into their world, where journeys met silence, and every tale held a legacy. Resource scarcity cast a long shadow on Rapa Nui. Deforestation, driven by moai construction and farming, left few trees for canoes. As pollen studies from the 1980s confirm, you're there, the forest sparse, the air dry with dust. A builder mourning a lost tree in Tahiti, over-harvested breadfruit groves, strained waka building. As archaeological records note, without strong hulls, voyages faltered. As oral tales of abandoned wakas suggest, for us, the loss of wood, the sea's call unanswered, might erode our spirit. The island's gifts, a fading whisper. Population pressures strained communities. Rapa Nui's population, peaking at perhaps 7,000, faced food shortages. As paleobotanical studies show, you're there, the taro fields thin, the air heavy with want, a village restless in Aotearoa. Growing Maori hapu settled inland, their focus turning from sea to land. As tribal histories recount, voyages, once uniting clans, became rare. As Hawaiian accounts note, for us, the weight of feeding a village, the sea's promise distant, might cloud our heart. The community's needs a relentless tide. Conflict dimmed the voyaging spirit on Rapa Nui. Clan rivalries toppled moai, their ahu left in ruin. As archaeological surveys show, you're there, a statue fallen, the air sharp with anger, the village divided. In Tahiti, disputes over land reduced waka building. As 18th century logs from Captain Cook describe, war canoes replaced voyaging wakas, their purpose turned inward. As Maori tales warn, for us, the strain of division, the loss of unity, might fray our resolve. The waka's purpose a fragile thread. European contact brought new shadows from 1722, when Dutch explorer Jacob Roggeveen reached Rapa Nui. Diseases like smallpox spread, weakening communities. As European logs note, you're there, a village quiet, the air heavy with loss, the sea untouched. In Hawaii, foreign ships offered new trade, reducing reliance on wakas. As 19th century accounts confirm, The old ways faded, their chants softer, as Tahitian tales lament for us the disruption of newcomers, the traditions slipping, might overwhelm our spirit, the past a fading star. Knowledge faded with the wayfinders, the art of navigation passed orally, waned as elders passed, their star paths untaught. As Maori records note, you're there, a chant half forgotten, the air thick with silence, a student listening in Rapa Nui, lost skills left wakas unbuilt, as archaeological finds of abandoned hulls show. The sea's secrets slipped away, as oral tales warn for us the loss of wisdom, the stars' map dimming, might unsettle our calm, the knowledge a fragile light. Rituals lost their hold, offerings to Tangaroa, once vital for voyages, became village rites, their sea-bound purpose forgotten. As Hawaiian traditions note, you're there, the altar bare, the air warm with fading faith, a priest's voice soft in Aotearoa. Karakia prayers shifted to land blessings. As Maori histories recount, a neglected ritual could linger, unsettling spirits. As Rarotongan tales suggest for us the weight of sacred loss, the gods' whispers faint, might cloud our heart, the divine a mystery too vast. Modern revival stirred their echoes, the 1976 Hokulea voyage, navigating from Hawaii to Tahiti, rekindled wayfinding. As Polynesian Voyaging Society logs confirm, you're there, the waka gliding, the air alive with pride, the stars bright on Rapa Nui. Festivals honor voyagers, their dances echoing ancient chants. As UNESCO reports note, yet reviving lost arts risks error. As tales of early failures hint for us, the challenge of reclaiming the past, the weight of its legacy, might fray our patience, the revival a delicate dance. Mysteries veil the decline, a Rapa Nui waka, found in 1878, lies half-carved, its purpose lost. As archaeological journals note, you're there, the hull silent, the air thick with questions, the riddle unanswered. Maori tales speak of a voyage halted by a storm, its crew's fate unwritten. As oral traditions recount, these enigmas, woven into the sea's twilight, give the decline an air of mystery. Its silence a challenge we might struggle to meet. Polynesian voyaging, from Hawaki's waves to Rapa Nui's shores, faded into a starlit memory. Its legacy, a gentle lullaby. Now let's drift into the calm of sleep, where the echoes of Polynesian voyages linger. Their stories, a quiet dream. Polynesian trade networks in the ancient Polynesian world. From the 1st to the 13th centuries, trade networks wove a delicate web across the Pacific, linking islands like Tahiti, Rapa Nui, and the Marquesas in a tapestry of exchange. Voyagers sailed double-hulled wakas, laden with obsidian, pearls, and sweet potatoes, their journeys knitting distant communities through shared goods and stories. To be a trader in this vast ocean was to balance risk and reward, a challenge that might leave us adrift in its complexity. As you rest in the night's gentle calm, picture yourself on a waka, the cargo secure, the the sea's rhythm soft, the air warm with salt, and distant shores. The Polynesian trade networks were a lifeline of connection. But their demands reveal why survival was a fragile hope. Let's drift into their world, where trade met the sea, and every voyage held a story. Trade was the pulse of Polynesian unity. From Hawaii, likely near Raiatea, wakas carried basalt tools to Samoa. As archaeological finds confirm, you're there, the hull heavy with stone, the air fresh with sea spray. A trader's gaze on the horizon. Rapa Nui sent obsidian to Mangareva, over 500 miles away. As 20th century digs show, sweet potatoes, traced to South America, reached Polynesia by 1000 AD. As paleobotanical studies note, these exchanges bound islands, but a lost cargo could strain ties. As oral tales warn, for us, the weight of distant voyages, the sea's vastness looming, might cloud our resolve, the network a fragile thread. Wakas were the trade's fragile vessels, double-hulled canoes, like those used in Tahiti, carried up to a ton of goods, their balance critical. As Polynesian voyaging society records describe, you're there, the cargo lashed tight, the air thick with salt, the waka creaking, overloading risked capsizing. As Maori tales of sunken wakas hint, sails of woven pandanus needed constant care, their tears a threat in storms. As Rarotongan finds show, for us, the strain of securing goods, the fear of the sea's embrace, might sap our strength. The wakas hold a delicate promise. Navigation demanded precision. Wayfinders guided trade wakas by stars and swells, their knowledge linking islands like Tonga and Hawaii. As navigation texts note, you're there, the stars bright, the air cool with night, the wayfinder's voice steady. A misread current, like the South Equatorial, could drift the cargo off course. As Tahitian tales warn, landfall relied on spotting clouds or birds. As Rapa Nui records describe, for us, the burden of such accuracy, the sea's secrets elusive, might fray our spirit. The route, a riddle too vast. Goods carried cultural weight. In Hawaii, pearls adorned chiefs, their luster a sign of mana. As oral traditions recount, you're there, a pearl glinting, the air warm with reverence, a trader's hands careful. In Aotearoa, greenstone pendants, traded from Maori hapu, held ancestral stories. As tribal histories note, losing such treasures to storms or theft could shame a trader. As Rarotongan tales suggest, for us, the pressure of safeguarding sacred goods, the fear of loss, might weigh heavy, the cargo a fragile vow. Risks shadowed every voyage. Storms could swamp wakas, their cargo lost to Tangaroa's depths. As Maori legends recount, you're there, the waves rising, the air sharp with spray. The crew's shouts faint, pirates' rival clans lurked near trade routes. As Tahitian oral histories hint, their raids a whisper of danger. On Rapa Nui, scarce resources made trade vital, but failed voyages sparked hunger. As paleobotanical studies show, for us, the constant threats, the sea's unpredictable heart, might erode our courage. trade a perilous dance. Community trust anchored the trade. Villages prepared goods, women wove baskets. Men carved tools their efforts shared. As Hawaiian records note, you're there, the village bustling, the air alive with chatter, the walker ready. Chiefs blessed the cargo, their prayers invoking safe return. As Maori traditions describe, a failed trade could strain alliances. As Rarotongan tales warn, for us, the weight of a village's hope, the fear of disappointing kin, might cloud our heart. The community's faith, a heavy tide. Mysteries cloaked the trade networks. A Rapa Nui shell necklace, found in Mangareva in 1870, bears an unknown mark, its trader lost. As archaeological journals note, you're there, the shell still, the air thick with questions, the riddle unanswered. Maori tales speak of a waka laden with greenstone, vanished in a fog, its fate unwritten. As oral traditions recount, these enigmas, woven into the sea's currents, gave trade an air of mystery. Its demands a challenge we might struggle to meet. Polynesian traders, from Hawaii's shores to Rapa Nui's cliffs, wove a web of connection. Their legacy, a starlit dream. Now, let's turn to the rediscovery of Polynesian voyaging, where ancient paths were retraced, their echoes a quiet lullaby. Catacomb builders in the ancient catacombs, from the 1st to the 5th centuries. Builders known as fossors carved sacred refuges into the earth beneath Rome, Naples, Syracuse, and other early Christian enclaves. In catacombs like San Callisto, San Gennaro, and the catacombs of Domitilla, these laborers shaped tunnels, chambers, and graves with picks and lamps. Their work a silent act of faith under Roman persecution. Their creations labyrinths of tufa and limestone sheltered worshippers, martyrs, and relics. Their designs a blend of skill and secrecy. As you settle into the night's calm, picture a fossors in a dim passage, his pick striking soft stone, his lamp flickering, the air heavy with dust and devotion. The catacomb builders were faith's architects, their labor a whisper of endurance. Let's drift into their world, where toil met sacrifice, and every tunnel told a story. Fossors were the catacombs' unsung craftsmen, their work vital to survival. In San Callisto, 3rd century, fossors dug sprawling tunnels, their 90 acres holding 500,000 graves by the 5th century. As archaeological reports confirm, you're there, the pick's rhythm steady, the fossor's breath heavy, the air cool and earthy. Naples' San Gennaro catacombs, carved in the 3rd century, featured chambers shaped by fossors, their walls smoothed for frescoes. As annals note, Syracuse's catacombs of Santa Lucia relied on their skill, their tunnels winding through soft rock. As Sicilian digs show, these builders, often believers, labored in secrecy, their creations a testament to faith. As Eusebius' ecclesiastical history hints, their tools were simple, their task immense. Fossors used iron picks and shovels, their blades worn by tufa. As San Sebastiano's 3rd century finds reveal, you're in that tunnel, the metal scraping, the fossor's lamp dim, the air thick with grit. They carved loculi shelf, like graves stacked in rows. Their precision evident in San Callisto's orderly niches, as digs confirm ventilation shafts, hidden in hillsides, kept air flowing. A 4th century Priscilla find shows a shaft disguised with brush. As reports note, these tools, wielded in darkness, shaped sanctuaries, their labor a quiet marvel under persecution's threat. Builders designed with cunning to evade detection, San Callisto's 3rd century tunnels looped to confuse intruders, their false ends a trap. As archaeological maps show, you're there, the passage twisting, a fossors guiding believers. The air tents, San Gennaro's builders hid entrances with rubble, their openings known only to deacons. As 4th century annals describe, in Paris' early catacombs, fossors used quarry tunnels, their Christian purpose concealed. As 5th century graffiti hint, these designs, born of necessity, were acts of defiance, their secrecy a shield against Rome's wrath. As Tacitus' annals suggests, persecution drove their work deeper. Nero's 64 AD purge forced San Callisto fossors to dig at night, their tunnels hidden from patrols. As chronicles record, you're there, the lamp low, a fossors strike cautious. Soldiers above, the 250 Decian edict demanded stealth. Priscilla's builders carved secret chambers, their entrances sealed. As 3rd century finds note, Diocletian's 303 edict packed San Gennaro with new tunnels, their haste evident in uneven walls. As annals lament, these dangers, faced in silence, made building a perilous vow, their tunnels a fragile refuge. Risks were constant. A 3rd century San Gennaro tale tells of a fossors caught digging, his tools confiscated, his fate execution. As local records note, you're there, the tunnel dark, his lamp snuffed, the air heavy with fear. Collapses were deadly. A 4th century San Callisto dig found a fossors skeleton under rubble, his pick nearby. As reports confirm, disease struck too. A 3rd century plague killed Naples builders, their graves unmarked. As 20th century digs show, these losses, born in darkness, gave their work a grim weight, their tunnels a costly legacy. The faithful relied on their skill. Deacons directed San Sebastiano's fossors to carve worship spaces, their chambers hosting Eucharist. As 3rd century martyr acts note, you're there, the chamber fresh, a deacon's prayer soft, the air holy. Builders hid relics. A 4th century Domitilla find revealed a niche carved for a martyr's bone, its fossors unknown. As journals show, later monks maintained their work. 5th century Monte Cassino records note brothers repairing tunnels, their labor silent. These efforts, quiet but vital, made builders the catacombs' foundation, their work a shared hope. Mysteries surrounded their creations. A 4th century San Callisto tunnel, found in 19th century excavations, led to a sealed chamber with no exit, its purpose lost. As journals note, you're there, the door immovable, the air thick with questions, the riddle unanswered. Legends recorded by Prudentius in the 5th century, speak of lost tunnels in Alexandria's catacombs, their builders forgotten, their paths collapsed. A 3rd century Syracuse find revealed a hidden passage with cryptic marks, its meaning debated, as reports detail. These enigmas, carved in stone, gave builders' work an air of mystery, their tunnels a silent puzzle. As Christianity rose, their work faded. Constantine's 313 Edict of Milan emptied catacombs, their tunnels silent as worship moved above ground. As Eusebius notes, you're in that deserted passage, the tools still, a prayer faint, the basilica gleaming. Some catacombs, like San Callisto, became shrines, their tunnels preserved. As 6th century records show, modern pilgrims visit San Gennaro, its passages intact. As UNESCO logs confirm, the catacomb builders, from Rome's depths to Syracuse's shadows, carved faith's refuge, their echoes enduring in the earth. Now let's turn to the catacomb symbols, where cryptic signs spoke faith, their meanings a quiet mystery. Catacomb symbols in the ancient catacombs, from the 1st to the 5th centuries, symbols etched and painted on the walls of tunnels beneath Rome, Naples, Paris, and other Christian refuges, spoke a silent language of faith. In catacombs like San Callisto, San Gennaro, and the catacombs of Priscilla, early Christians used doves, fish, anchors, and cryptic signs like the Chi Rho to express devotion, hope, and defiance under Roman persecution. These symbols, carved by scribes or painted by artists, hid meanings from hostile eyes, their simplicity a shield for the faithful. As you settle into the night's calm, picture a dimly lit wall, a dove's wings freshly painted, a Christian's brush careful, the air heavy with earth and secrecy. The catacomb symbols were faith's quiet voice, their meanings a whisper in the dark. Let's drift into their world, where art met mystery, and every sign held a story. Symbols were the faithful's code, their meanings sacred. In San Callisto, the 3rd century Chi Rho, Christ's monogram, adorned a tomb, its crossed lines a bold declaration. As archaeological frescoes confirm, you're there, the symbol glowing, a Christian's eyes wary, the air cool. Naples, San Gennaro featured doves, symbolizing peace, painted above graves, their wings vivid. As 4th century annals note, Paris' early catacombs bore anchors, signs of hope, scratched in limestone. As 5th century graffiti show, these symbols, simple yet profound, spoke to believers, their secrecy a lifeline, as Eusebius' ecclesiastical history suggests. Their creation was an act of faith. Artists painted with ochre and charcoal, their brushes guided by lamplight. As San Sebastiano's 3rd century finds reveal, you're there, the paint wet, an artist's hand steady, the air thick with tufa dust. Scribes carved symbols with chisels. A 4th century Priscilla inscription shows a fish etched beside a prayer, its lines precise. As epigraphic studies note, some symbols were hidden. A 3rd century Domitilla dig found a cross concealed in a fresco, its meaning for the faithful alone, as reports confirm. These creations, crafted in peril, were a quiet rebellion, their art a prayer in stone. Symbols served multiple roles. The fish, an acronym for Christ in Greek, marked San Callisto's worship spaces, guiding believers. As 3rd century inscriptions show, "You're there, the fish faint," a deacon pointing, the air holy. Doves on San Gennaro tombs blessed the dead, their peace a comfort. As 4th century annals note, anchors in Priscilla's catacombs symbolized salvation, their lines scratched by pilgrims. As digs reveal, some symbols were cryptic. A 3rd century Syracuse graffito, a circle with a cross, puzzled even monks. As Jerome's letters hint, these signs, versatile and sacred, bound the community, their meanings a shared hope. Persecution shaped their use. Nero's 64 AD purge forced San Callisto artists to paint symbols in hidden chambers, their work concealed. As Tacitus' Annals suggests, "You're there, the brush quick, soldiers above, the air tense." The 250 Decian edict demanded subtlety. Priscilla's symbols were small, their lines faint to avoid detection. As 3rd century finds note, Diocletian's 303 edict brought raids. San Gennaro's doves were painted in haste, their wings uneven. As annals lament, these dangers, faced in silence, made symbols acts of defiance, their secrecy a fragile light. Risks shadowed their creation. A 3rd century San Gennaro tale tells of an artist caught painting a Kai roe, his tools seized, his fate execution. As chronicles record, "You're there, the tunnel dark, his lamp snuffed, the air heavy with fear." Collapses were deadly. A 4th century San Callisto dig found a scribe's skeleton beside a half-carved fish. As reports note, disease struck too. A 3rd century plague left Naples' symbols unfinished, their artists gone. As 20th century digs show, these losses, born in darkness, gave symbols a somber weight, their beauty a costly vow. The faithful cherished these signs. Pilgrims touched San Callisto's Kai roe for blessings, their fingers tracing sacred lines. As 3rd century finds note, "You're there, the symbol worn, a pilgrim's prayer soft, the air warm with faith." Deacons used symbols to mark altars. San Sebastiano's 3rd century fish guided worship. As martyr acts show, monks later preserved them. 5th century Monte Cassino records note brothers cleaning symbol-laden walls, their care silent. These efforts, quiet but vital, made symbols the catacombs' language, their meanings a shared strength. Mysteries cloaked the symbols. A 4th century San Callisto find, uncovered in 19th century digs, revealed an unknown sign, a star in a circle, its purpose lost. As journals note, "You're there, the symbol faint, the air thick with questions, the riddle unanswered." Legends, recorded by Prudentius in the 5th century, speak of cryptic symbols in Alexandria's catacombs, their meanings buried. A 3rd century Naples graffito, half erased, hints at a secret sign, its intent debated. As reports show, these enigmas, etched in stone, gave symbols an air of mystery, their silence enduring. As Christianity rose, symbols surfaced. Constantine's 313 Edict of Milan moved worship to basilicas, their walls adorned with catacomb-inspired signs. As Eusebius notes, you're in that silent tunnel, the symbols dim, a prayer faint, the church gleaming. San Callisto's Cairo influenced church art. As 6th century records show, modern pilgrims visit San Gennaro, its symbols preserved. As UNESCO logs confirm, the catacomb symbols from Rome's depths to Naples' shadows spoke faith's heart, their echoes whispering in the earth. Now let's turn to the catacomb guardians, where protectors stood vigil, their watch a quiet duty. Environmental challenges of Polynesian communities in the ancient Polynesian world. From the 1st to the 13th centuries, communities on islands like Rapa Nui, Tahiti, and Aotearoa faced the Pacific's environmental whims, their lives shaped by the delicate balance of sea, land, and sky. From droughts to storms, from dwindling forests to shifting reefs, nature tested their resilience, demanding ingenuity to survive. To live amid these challenges was to walk a fragile path, a struggle that might leave us weary under its weight. As you rest in the night's gentle calm, picture yourself in a Polynesian village, the air warm with the scent of taro, the wind whispering through palms, the seas hum a distant lullaby. The environmental challenges of Polynesian communities were a dance with nature, but their trials reveal why survival was a fragile hope. Let's drift into their world, where land met sea, and every season held a story. Droughts parched the island's heart on Rapa Nui. Scarce rainfall strained taro fields. As paleobotanical studies from the 1980s show, you're there, the soil dry underfoot, the air heavy with dust, a farmer's hope fading. In Tahiti, prolonged dry spells withered breadfruit. As 18th century logs from Captain Cook note, communities dug deeper wells, their labor exhausting, as Hawaiian records describe. A failed crop could spark hunger, as oral tales warn. For us, the weight of scarce water, the field's silent plea, might cloud our spirit, the harvest a fragile promise. Storms battered the shores, cyclones sweeping through Samoa or Rapa Nui, uprooted trees and flooded villages. As archaeological evidence of damaged structures shows, you're there, the wind howling, the air thick with spray, a roof trembling. Wakas, vital for fishing, could shatter on reefs. As Maori tales recount, rebuilding demanded unity, but resources were finite. As Rarotongan records note, for us, the chaos of storms, the loss of shelter, might fray our resolve, the sea's wrath a force too wild. Deforestation dimmed the island's green. On Rapa Nui, palm forests vanished for canoe building and moe transport. As pollen studies confirm, you're there, the hills bare, the air dry with loss, a builder morning. In Aotearoa, clearing land for crops, thinned forests. As Maori histories note, scarce wood halted wakas, isolating communities. As Tahitian tales warn, for us, the fading trees, the sea's call unanswered, might erode our heart. The forests gift a fading whisper. Reefs shifted, threatening survival on Rapa Nui. Coral bleaching reduced fish stocks. As paleontological studies show, you're there, the net's empty, the air sharp with want. A fisher's gaze distant in Hawaii. Rising seas eroded shores. As archaeological records note, forcing villages inland, navigating changing reefs demanded skill. As Maori tales of stranded wakas suggest, for us the loss of fish, the land's shrinking edge, might sap our strength. The sea's bounty, a fragile thread. The Polynesian rat, an unwitting foe, ravaged crops introduced by voyagers. It ate taro and breadfruit. As ecological studies confirm, you're there, the fields nibbled, the air tense with scarcity. A farmer guarding on Rapa Nui. Rats worsened deforestation, gnawing palm seeds. As pollen studies note, traps and vigilance offered little relief. As oral tales lament, for us, the constant threat, the harvest's silent thief, might wear our patience thin, the crops a delicate hope. Community resilience was their shield in Tahiti. Villages shared taro during droughts, their baskets passed with care. As Hawaiian records describe, you're there, the village united, the air warm with trust. A chief's voice calm on Aotearoa, Hapu rebuilt after storms, their chants binding kin. As Maori traditions note, yet scarcity could spark disputes. As Rapa Nui tales warn, for us, the weight of shared survival, the fear of division, might cloud our calm. The community's bond, a heavy tide. Mysteries cloaked their struggles. A Rapa Nui cave, found in 1870, held a carved stone with an unknown glyph, its purpose lost. As archaeological journals note, you're there, the stone still, the air thick with questions, the riddle unanswered. Maori legends speak of a village lost to a flood, its fate unwritten. As oral tales recount, these enigmas, woven into nature's trials, gave their challenges an air of mystery. Their demands a test we might struggle to meet. Polynesian communities, from Rapa Nui's cliffs to Tahiti's shores, faced nature's whims with quiet strength. Their legacy, a starlit dream. Now, let's drift into the calm of sleep, where the echoes of Polynesian resilience linger. Their stories, a gentle lullaby, social structure of Polynesian voyaging communities in the ancient Polynesian world. From the 1st to the 13th centuries, voyaging communities on islands like Tahiti, Rapa Nui, and Aotearoa thrived within an intricate social tapestry, where chiefs, priests, craftsmen, and commoners wove their roles into the rhythm of sea and village life. From the sacred marae to the bustling shores where wakas were built, each person's place upheld the community's strength. Their bonds guiding voyages across the Pacific. To live within this structure was to carry the weight of duty and kinship, a challenge that might leave us humbled by its complexity. As you rest in the night's gentle calm, picture yourself in a Polynesian village, the air warm with the scent of burning kava, a chief's voice soft in the distance. The seas murmur a quiet lullaby. The social structure of Polynesian communities was a harmony of roles, but its demands reveal why survival was a fragile hope. Let's drift into their world, where kinship met the sea, and every bond held a story. At the heart stood the chiefs, or Eri, their mana a divine spark. In Tahiti, chiefs descended from gods like Aro, their authority guiding villages. As oral traditions note, you're there, the chief's feather cloak bright, the air heavy with reverence. A village gathered on Rapa Nui. Chiefs oversaw moai construction, their word shaping stone, as archaeological records from Rano Raraku show. A chief's misjudgment could unsettle the clan, as Maori tales of challenged leaders warn. For us, the weight of such power, the eyes of kin watching, might cloud our spirit. The mantle, a heavy tide. Priests wove the sacred thread. In Hawaii, they led rituals to Tangaroa, their chants blessing wakas, as 18th century logs from Captain Cook describe. You're there, the altar's smoke rising, the air thick with reverence, a priest's prayer soft on Aotearoa. Tohunga interpreted omens, their wisdom guiding voyages. As Maori traditions recount, a flawed ritual could anger spirits, bringing storms. As Rarotongan tales suggest, for us, the burden of divine rites, the fear of unseen forces, might fray our resolve. The sacred, a mystery too vast. Craftsmen shaped the community's tools. In Rapa Nui, carvers hewed moai with basalt edzes, their skill revered. As archaeological finds confirm, you're there, the stone dust clinging, the air sharp with effort, a carver's hammer steady. In Tahiti, women wove pandana sails, their looms humming. As Hawaiian records note, a flawed tool or sail could doom a voyage. As oral tales warn, for us, the pressure of perfection, the community's trust resting on each stroke, might sap our strength. The craft, a fragile vow. Commoners were the village's pulse. In Aotearoa, they paddled wakas, planted taro, and hauled nets, their labor sustaining kin. As Maori histories describe, you're there, the paddle heavy, the air warm with shared effort, the village alive. On Rapa Nui, commoners carried moai, their strength vital. As archaeological surveys show, discontent could ripple, straining unity. As Tahitian tales hint, for us, the endless toil, the weight of collective need, might wear our patience thin. The community's rhythm, a relentless dance. Kinship bound all roles, clans, or hapu. In Aotearoa, shared tasks, their bonds sealed by feasts and chants. As tribal records note, you're there, the fires glow warm, the air rich with laughter, a village united. On Rapa Nui, clan rivalries over moai strained ties. As oral traditions suggest, a broken bond could fracture the village. As Hawaiian tales warn, for us, the weight of kinship, the fear of discord, might cloud our heart. The clans trust a delicate thread. Children carried the future, youths learned navigation songs, or weaving, their lessons ensuring survival. As Polynesian oral histories recount, you're there, a child's voice soft, the air warm with a mentor's chant, the stars bright. On Tahiti, girls crafted cordage, their knots vital for wakas. As archaeological finds show, a weak lesson could falter the next generation. As Rarotongan tales lament, for us, the burden of teaching, the hope of tomorrow, might erode our calm, the future a fragile promise. Mysteries cloaked their structure. A Rapa Nui stone, found in 1870, bears an unmarked glyph, its owner's role lost. As archaeological journals note, you're there, the stone still, the air thick with questions, the riddle unanswered. Maori legends speak of a chief's lineage, forgotten after a failed voyage, its story unwritten, as oral tales recount. These enigmas, woven into their roles, gave the social structure an air of mystery. Its demands a challenge we might struggle to meet. Polynesian communities, from Tahiti's Mary to Rapa Nui's shores, wove a tapestry of kinship. Their legacy, a starlit dream. Now, let's turn to the myths and legends of Polynesian voyagers, where stories inspired courage, their echoes a quiet lullaby. Myths and legends of Polynesian voyagers in the ancient Polynesian world, from the 1st to the 13th centuries. Myths and legends were the guiding stars of voyagers. Their tales of gods, heroes, and sea spirits lighting the path across the Pacific to islands like Rapa Nui, Tahiti, and Aotearoa. From Kupe's chase of the great octopus to Hina's dance with the moon, these stories wove courage and meaning into every waka's journey, inspiring crews to brave the sea's vast heart. To live by these myths was to sail with the divine, a challenge that might leave us in awe of its depth. As you drift in the night's gentle calm, picture yourself on a waka, the waves whispering, a storyteller's voice soft under the stars, the air warm with salt and wonder. The myths and legends of Polynesian voyagers were a beacon of inspiration, but their weight reveals why survival was a fragile hope. Let's wander into their world, where stories met the sea, and every tale held a legacy. Kupe's legend was a cornerstone in Maori lore. Kupe sailed from Hawaii, chasing Mucharangi's giant octopus, his waka Mata'aurua reaching Aotearoa. As oral traditions note, you're there, the sea churning, the air sharp with spray, Kupe's resolve firm. The tale, recorded in the Waitangi Tribunal's Y-262 report, inspired voyagers to face chaos. But its truth, myth, or memory remains debated. For us, the weight of such a tale, the call to match a hero's courage, might cloud our heart. The legend, a challenge too vast. Hina, the moon goddess, guided with her light. In Tahitian tales, Hina sailed with her brother, her lunar glow aiding navigation. As oral histories recount, you're there, the moon silver, the air cool with night, a crew's chant soft. Her story, shared across Polynesia, blessed wakas, but a clouded moon could unsettle spirits. As Rarotongan tales warn, for us, the burden of divine guidance, the fear of losing her light, might fray our spirit. The goddess, a mystery too deep. Tangaroa, the sea god, ruled their fates in Hawaiian legends. His favor ensured calm seas. His wrath stirred storms. As 18th century logs from Captain Cook note, you're there, a fish offered to the waves, the air heavy with reverence, a priest's prayer steady. Offerings to Tangaroa, like kava or shells, were vital. As Maori traditions describe, a neglected rite could anger him. As Rapa Nui tales suggest, for us, the weight of pleasing a god, the sea's mood unpredictable, might unsettle our calm, the divine a fragile vow. The Maui cycle inspired daring across Polynesia. Maui, the trickster hero, fished up islands like Aotearoa with his magic hook. As Maori oral histories recount, you're there, the story told by firelight, the air warm with wonder, a child listening, his tales preserved in chants, urged voyagers to defy limits. But failure could shame a crew. As Tahitian tales warn, for us, the pressure to emulate a hero, the fear of falling short, might erode our courage. The myth, a towering dream. Sea spirits haunted their tales in Rarotongan lore. Taniwa sea creatures guarded reefs, their presence a warning. As oral traditions note, you're there, a shadow in the water, the air tense with fear. A wayfinder's gaze sharp, these spirits, revered yet feared, demanded respect. As Hawaiian tales suggest, a disregarded Taniwa could doom a waka. As Maori stories warn, for us, the weight of unseen guardians, the sea's secrets looming, might cloud our resolve. The spirits, a riddle too vast. Legends shaped community bonds, villages gathered to hear tales, their chants weaving kinship. As Polynesian records describe, you're there, the fires glow warm, the air rich with song, a storyteller's voice steady on Rapa Nui. Moai were tied to ancestor tales, their stones alive with stories. As oral traditions note, a forgotten tale could weaken mana. As Tahitian tales lament, for us, the burden of preserving stories, the fear of loss, might fray our spirit. The legends, a fragile thread. Mysteries cloaked their myths, a Rapa Nui petroglyph, found in 1870, depicts an unknown sea creature, its tail lost. As archaeological journals note, you're there, the stone faint, the air thick with questions, the riddle unanswered. Maori legends speak of a hero's waka swallowed by fog, its story unwritten. As oral tales recount, these enigmas, woven into their myths, gave the legends an air of mystery. Their inspiration, a challenge we might struggle to meet. Polynesian voyagers, from Hawaii's waves to Rapa Nui's shores, sailed with stories as their guide. Their legacy, a starlit lullaby. Now, let's drift into the calm of sleep, where the echoes of Polynesian myths linger. Their tales, a gentle dream, music and chants in Polynesian voyaging culture, in the ancient Polynesian world. From the 1st to the 13th centuries, music and chants were the heartbeat of voyaging culture, resonating across the Pacific from Hawaii to islands like Rapa Nui, Tahiti, and Aotearoa. These songs, woven with stories of gods, heroes, and stars, guided wakas, bound communities, and honored the sea's vast spirit. To live by these chants was to carry a melody of courage and memory, a challenge that might leave us humbled by its depth. As you drift in the night's gentle calm, picture yourself on a waka, the crew's voices rising, the air warm with salt and song, the waves whispering a quiet lullaby. The music and chants of Polynesian voyagers were a thread of unity. But their demands reveal why survival was a fragile hope. Let's wander into their world, where song met the sea, and every note held a story. Chants were the voyagers' guiding stars in Tahiti, navigational chants, or peh, named star paths, like the route from Raiatea to Aotearoa. As Polynesian oral traditions note, you're there, the waka gliding, the air cool with a wayfinder's chant, the stars bright. These songs, memorized by youths, preserved routes across generations. As Maori records recount, a forgotten verse could lead to empty seas. As Rarotongan tales warn, for us, the weight of memorizing such chants, the fear of losing the path, might cloud our focus. The melody, a puzzle too vast. Paddling songs set the rhythm of labor in Aotearoa. Crews sang haka ho, their voices sinking strokes. As Maori oral histories describe, you're there, the paddle heavy, the air alive with song, the waka's rhythm steady. These chants eased fatigue, but a missed beat could falter the crew. As Hawaiian accounts suggest, drums made from hollowed logs echoed the tempo. As archaeological finds from Samoa show, for us, the strain of endless paddling, the need to match the song's pulse, might sap our strength. The rhythm, a trial too relentless. Ritual chants invoked divine favor in Hawaii. Priests sang to Tangaroa, offering kava to calm the sea. As 18th century logs from Captain Cook note, you're there, the altar's smoke rising, the air heavy with reverence. A chant soft on Rapa Nui. Songs blessed Moai transport, their words weaving mana. As oral traditions recount, a flawed chant could anger spirits, bringing storms. As Tahitian tales warn, for us, the burden of sacred song, the fear of divine displeasure, might fray our spirit. The ritual, a mystery too deep. Storytelling, songs, preserved legends in Tahiti. Chants of Maui fishing up islands inspired young voyagers. As Polynesian records describe, you're there, the fires glow warm, the air rich with a storyteller's voice. A child listening on Aotearoa, Kupe's tale was sung. His chase of the octopus, a call to courage. As Maori traditions note, a forgotten tale could dim a hero's light. As Rarotongan tales lament, for us, the pressure to keep stories alive, the weight of memory, might cloud our heart. The legends, a fragile thread. Community songs bound the village in Samoa. Feasts featured oli, uniting clans with shared melodies. As Hawaiian records note, you're there, the village alive, the air warm with laughter. A song rising on Rapa Nui. Chants accompanied moai ceremonies, their rhythm tying kin to ancestors. As oral traditions suggest, discord in song could unsettle unity. As Maori tales warn, for us, the weight of communal harmony, the fear of a faltering note, might erode our resolve. The song, a delicate bond. Instruments wove sound into spirit in Hawaii. Nose flutes, or o hanoaihu, sang soft melodies, their tones soothing crews. As archaeological finds show, you're there, the flutes hum gentle, the air cool with night, a player's breath steady on Tahiti. Conch shells signaled waka launches, their calls echoing, as Rarotongan records note, a broken instrument could silence a ritual. As oral tales hint, for us, the skill of crafting music, the pressure of its role, might wear our patience thin, the sound a fragile vow. Mysteries cloaked their songs, a Rapa Nui tablet, found in 1868, bears Rongorongo script, its chants unread. As archaeological journals note, you're there, the wood silent, the air thick with questions, the riddle unanswered. Maori legends speak of a chant lost to a storm, its melody forgotten. As oral tales recount, these enigmas, woven into their music, gave the chants an air of mystery. Their demands a challenge we might struggle to meet. Polynesian voyagers from Hawaii's waves to Rapa Nui's shores sang with the sea's heart, their legacy a starlit lullaby. Now, let's turn to the impact of voyaging on island ecosystems, where human touch shaped the land. Their echoes, a quiet dream. Impact of Polynesian voyaging on island ecosystems in the ancient Polynesian world. From the 1st to the 13th centuries, voyagers shaped the ecosystems of islands like Rapa Nui, Tahiti, and Aotearoa, their wakas carrying not only people, but plants, animals, and new ways of living, from clearing forests for crops to introducing rats. Their presence reshaped the land, leaving marks still visible today. To live amid this transformation was to tread lightly on fragile shores, a challenge that might leave us awed by its consequences. As you rest in the night's gentle calm, picture yourself on a Polynesian island, the air warm with the scent of taro, the breeze rustling sparse palms, the seas hum a distant lullaby. The impact of voyaging on ecosystems was a dance with nature, but its effects reveal why survival was a fragile hope. Let's drift into their world, where human hands met the land, and every change held a story. Voyagers brought new life to islands from Hawaii. Wakas carried taro, breadfruit, and sweet potatoes, planting them on Rapa Nui and Hawaii. As paleobotanical studies confirm, you're there, the soil soft, the air rich with earth, a farmer planting. These crops fed villages, but their fields replaced native plants. As pollen records show, on Aotearoa, kumara reshaped diets. As Maori histories note, for us, the task of nurturing foreign crops, the loss of native flora, might cloud our heart, the land's balance a delicate thread. Deforestation was a silent cost on Rapa Nui. Palm forests fell for waka building and moe transport, leaving hills bare by the 13th century. As 1980s pollen studies show, you're there, the axe striking, the air dry with dust, a forest fading in Tahiti, clearing for taro, fields thinned groves. As archaeological records note, scarce wood halted voyages, as oral tales warn, for us the loss of trees, the sea's call unanswered, might fray our spirit. The forest's gift a fading whisper, the Polynesian rat, an unwitting passenger, reshaped ecosystems carried on wakas. It ravaged seeds and crops, as ecological studies from Rapa Nui confirm. You're there, the taro nibbled, the air tense with loss. A farmer guarding on Aotearoa. Rats ate moa eggs, hastening their decline, as fossil records show. Traps offered little relief, as Hawaiian tales lament. For us, the constant threat, the harvest's silent thief, might sap our strength, the crops a fragile vow. Fishing strained the seas in Hawaii, nets and hooks depleted fish stocks. As archaeological middens note, you're there, the net's light, the air sharp with want, a fisher's gaze distant on Rapa Nui. Overfishing reduced reef bounty, as paleontological studies show. New techniques, like fish ponds, eased pressure, as Tahitian records describe. But scarcity lingered. For us, the dwindling catch, the sea's fading generosity, might erode our resolve. The ocean, a delicate promise. Fire shaped the land's face in Aotearoa. Maori burned forests for fields, their fires clearing undergrowth. As charcoal studies confirm, you're there, the smoke rising, the air warm with ash, the land open on Rapa Nui. Fires for cooking and rituals left soils exposed, as archaeological records note. Erosion followed, weakening crops, as oral tales warn. For us, the weight of fire's mark, the land's silent plea, might cloud our heart, the soil a fragile thread. Community adapted with ingenuity on Tahiti. Irrigation ditches watered taro, their channels a lifeline. As 18th century logs from Captain Cook note, you're there, the water flowing, the air rich with unity. A village working on Rapa Nui. Stone mulch conserved soil moisture, as archaeological finds show. Yet failed adaptations could spark hunger. As Maori tales suggest, for us, the strain of innovation, the fear of scarcity, might fray our patience. The community's hope a heavy tide. Mysteries cloaked their impact. A Rapa Nui cave, found in 1870, held a seed cache, its purpose lost. As archaeological journals note, you're there, the seed still, the air thick with questions, the riddle unanswered. Maori legends speak of a grove lost to fire, its story unwritten, as oral tales recount. These enigmas, woven into the land's changes, gave their impact an air of mystery. Its consequences, a challenge we might struggle to meet. Polynesian voyagers, from Hawaki's waves to Rapa Nui's shores, reshaped islands with quiet hands. Their legacy, a starlit dream. Now, let's drift into the calm of sleep, where the echoes of Polynesian ecosystems linger. Their stories, a gentle lullaby